Hi, everyone. Hopefully, I'm very excited about today, especially with the guests I'm bringing on board. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a great session. I hope, so I'm just going to do a rundown. You can ask me, why do I do what I'm doing? Why am I having this conversation? If you're there, I'd like you to drop a message in the chat. And awesome. So if you're there, my guest is here. If you're there, I'd like you to drop your name. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, let me know where you're joining us from. If you don't mind, we will be grateful to hear who is connected to us at the moment. It's an interactive session, so I'll do a countdown. Before I do a countdown, ScrumDaddy, can you connect now on Instagram? I'm going live now. So,
can you hear me?
yes, very well.
Let me try that on Instagram.
So I'm going to go live now on Instagram. So all you need to do is accept.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. I can't remember what this guy said. The blessings of working from home, right? So I'm just going to go live in a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, go. Please let's know where you're joining us from. That would be amazing. Thank you, Grace Johnson. Hello. I appreciate that. I think I should share in the community as well. So that would be amazing. Okay. I'm going live now on the count of. So let me just do a quick countdown for here that we're starting in. Okay, so I'm waiting for you to accept the live broadcast on.
I'm trying to.
Okay, I'll wait.
So I'm on your Learn tour.
So you will see me going live. So all you need to do is just check Learn tour live.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm on Learn tour right now. Oh yes, I see Learn tour live.
Yeah, just
fantastic.
Once you see Learn tour live, you come on live, then you now ask a request, then I can accept you.
Fantastic. I've just done that.
Perfect. I'll see come up. Once I accept, then you now accept to join in. Okay, so thank you. Some people are already on Instagram. So. Aha. A very quick one. Perfect. You need to put your device on Instagram.
Yeah.
Connect headphones to it. Digital technology.
Yeah, I'll do that in a second.
Okay, guys. So let me do my countdown again. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me disconnect all my chat functionality. I just had a brilliant session. A very, very good one. It was live, so it's not echoing. There's no feedback. If it's connected, then that's fine.
Yeah, it's connected.
Okay, so let's know where you're calling from. Please let me know if you're on Twitter, Facebook, or you are on LinkedIn. And I know a lot of LinkedIn. I'm hoping to get there soon. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, let me know where you are. And it would be nice to know what you would like to learn today. I'll flash your name, and that would be awesome. So I'm going to introduce my guest as we take off, so you can get to know the esteemed gentleman that I have on Let's Talk Agile today. It's going to be an exciting time, a time of learning, and that's very key for me. Okay, so we'll start now. We're already live. We have 14 people across those other channels and 3 on Instagram. So that's amazing. So Kwaku, I don't want to destroy your name. God help me. I don't want to do that. So you're going to help me pronounce it. It's more respectful that way rather than murder your name. I don't want to do that at all. So Kwaku, aka the one I'm comfortable pronouncing, is the ScrumDaddy in Africa. Okay? I'm sure that warms his heart. And he's a coach, he's a consultant, he's a collaborator. And indeed he is. I can testify because I've collaborated with him on his Scrum Sunday that he normally has, where I took people on Jira. He's a Ghanaian, British Ghanaian.
Half Ghanaian, half Nigerian.
Okay, where's the echo coming from? From me? Let me move my device this way. Please confirm on Instagram if it's echoing. But if it's echoing, please join us on. I don't want people on Instagram to miss out on what I'm doing. So that's why you see me. We are on 4 platforms as we speak to you right now. Sorry. I don't want you seeing my suitcases. It's in a nice place, packed up. Okay. It's coming from me. I understand the echo is coming from me. It's connected to, okay, let me put it this way. Confirm if it's still echoing, please. On Instagram. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, okay. Talk well. Okay, so let me continue introducing him, yeah? He is an Agile Evangelist with the aim of creating and promoting AfricAgility. He believes that AfricAgility will be manifested simply by living, being, and doing, and teaching others to live and do Agile. He is a Pan-African and a believer of African excellence. Kwaku is a lead consultant with Blue Ocean Agility, and normally they have every ScrumDaddy Scrum Sunday where they take you through the journey of agility. And he's based in Accra at the moment, which is one of the questions I hope to ask him. Why leave UK to Africa? Okay, he's an highly experienced, innovative, seasoned Agile practitioner. He is passionate about providing free, relevant, and meaningful Agile training. And I can attest to that because I've been one of the facilitators to Africans in Africa and the diaspora. So thank you so much, ScrumDaddy, for being here today.
My pleasure.
We sincerely appreciate your time. It means everything to me. So now, where do we start? You all know me. I don't always want to bother. I feel it's vain when I introduce myself. So maybe on platform where I'm introduced, yes, great, but it's vain for me. I just feel that way. My name is Mercy. I'm a digital strategist, an Agile enthusiast, and data enthusiast. I have a big, audacious goal to bridge the digital skill gap in Africa. So ScrumDaddy is not alone on this task. We are doing it together because it's not enough. So can I ask, how did your Agile journey start? Where and how?
Okay, so first of all, my name is Kwaku Sikahene Ampomah. People call me ScrumDaddy, and that's its own interesting little story behind that. My Agile journey started in London when I joined a small company, and the company was called Skinkers at the time. And they were one of the first companies to start bringing video technology to our laptops. And I started with Skinkers as a quality assurance specialist. So I was a quality assurance manager at the time, and I was assuring the quality of the code and the features that they were developing on this new Skinkers application. And then they decided that they were going to transform to become an agile company. And because they were a software house, they were able to knuckle down and practice pure, what I consider to be pure agile in all its best practices as completely as you could. So they were not a large corporation where they had to break down the traditional corporate structures. They were a startup software house where they could just adapt and be as flexible as possible. So it wasn't difficult to transform everybody in there. We were, I think at the time, we must have been about 30 people to transform everybody in there to start Agile. And it started off in the research, the research part of Skinkers. We had a small research team that was about 9 people, and we were able to start from there. And I fell in love with Agile. I said, I'd heard about it, but it was the first time that I really got to understand, be trained, and learn about it. And I decided that I was a Scrum Master for life because it was part of my nature, you know. So, yeah, that's where it all started in London.
That is such a beautiful story. That is such a beautiful, one of the things that I've found as a commonality is many of the Agilists that I've met or interviewed so far didn't know. They kind of walked into the experience and now decided this is where I'm going to stay, this is where I'm going to eat, this is where I'm going to die, this is where I'm going to whine. So as much as you started in the organization as a tester, why? No, I don't want to use the word why. I just finished the training coached by Aaron. I don't want to ask the question why. What made you choose the journey of agility and not being a tester? Because you have the same choice to being a tester, right?
Yes, I was and still am very passionate about software quality assurance. I don't think anything made me go along the Agile path. I'd rather say that the path found me, and I also found that I was on that path anyway. I'd been a long time searching for something, and when Agile came along, it seemed to me to fit in with what I'd been searching for. So it kind of found me on its path. And from then, there's been no turning back. I've just moved from strength to strength.
Okay, before I actually jump to the next question, I want to say, can you tell us, for many people that probably are joining and don't understand what Agile is all about, what is Agile in your own words? And as an African, what does it mean to be an Agilist? So what is Agile?
Okay, so Agile for me, where do I start? Okay, I usually tell people this story about Agile, and that is you've got some work to do, and you've got a budget to do that work. It's going to cost so much, and that work needs to be done within a certain amount of time. Let's say 9 months. And you have 2 very, very reputable companies to work with. One of those companies will say, I will do that work in that time and in that budget. And you will check them out, and they will check out very, very well all their references. You would have done your due diligence, and it's a great company to work with. The next company will say exactly the same thing. I will do the work within time and within budget, but while we're doing that, you will have a chance to have something that is finished and potentially shippable to play with every week or every 2 weeks, 3 weeks or 4 weeks at the most. And you can give us your feedback, and we'll take your feedback into consideration. But not only that, you can join us every single day, every single work day for 15 minutes if you wish, just to get a real-time update on where we are. And not only that, your investment is only for that week or for that 2 weeks or for that 3 weeks or for that month. Your investment is not for the whole 9 months before you get something at the end of that. And I say to them, so which one would you choose? And invariably, they will all choose the second organization. And I'll say, why would you choose that? And they would normally say, because they feel involved, they feel that they're listened to, they feel that they're taking part in it. And I would say, well, why is it important that you do it that way? And then they'll say, because you don't want to wait till 9 months to get something and realize that things have changed or that's not what you wanted. And by that time, you've already invested so much money and so on and so forth. So these are some of the very clear reasons as to why you would want to go Agile. Very practical, very business-like reasons. It's adaptable. You can change. You can be involved in the process, whether you're a stakeholder or a delivery team member. You only invest in that sprint, in that iteration. You don't have to release money for the whole 9 months. If and when it's not going well, you can stop the process. And if it's going well, you can invest for the next week or for the next month. And so on and so forth. The other thing, for me, the most important things about Agile are the 5 values that it comes with, and the 3 pillars that uphold the 5 values. So the 5 values being courage, commitment, focus, respect, and openness. And the 3 pillars being transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Now, I come from Africa, and I'm a very, very staunch Pan-Africanist. And I know, let's not all be children here, I know that there's an issue with corruption in Africa, openness, and transparency. And I believe that if our governments adopt Agile wholeheartedly, some are beginning to do so, if all our institutions adopt appropriate forms of Agile wholeheartedly and practice it and embody and live by those 5 values, we'll go a long way towards fixing Africa from our perspective and our standpoint as Africans. And so that's why I'm passionate about it, you know. And I do believe I'm not just doing it for fun. It's not just a career. It's not just a way to make money for me. But I have a mission, which is a better Africa. And I believe that Agile can bring that. And that's why I've coined this term AfricAgility, to just basically meaning exposing Africa to more and more Agile. And just watch it. Just leave it and watch it. And the people who take it on will create something from their experiences, and that's what I call AfricAgility.
Thank you so much. That was really powerful. That was indeed very powerful and insightful feedback there. Indeed, Africa adopting and adapting the Agile way of working will change the trajectory. There's a whole background still there. Please manage. It's hard. You can join us. I would encourage you to join me on Facebook, on Twitter. Twitter Lentor me, Facebook Lentor. What else? YouTube Lentor. And every time you put up a question, it will show. I can show your name. It's an opportunity to be seen. Please join us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Anyway, so indeed, what you said is, if organizations in Nigeria or our leadership adopt the Agile mindset to working, the game will definitely change in the favor of the people. It would not be, it would change the game. That much I can tell you. And indeed, you are really Pan-African, because I've met you And by the way, we met on LinkedIn 3 months ago. I was checking the timeline when I connected with you, ScrumDaddy. It was just 3 months ago. Actually, 2 months ago. It wasn't 3 months, because I checked it on LinkedIn just yesterday, which is quite fascinating. So I want to ask you a two-edged question. Why did you leave the UK to pursue the changing of the mindset? I love one thing you said there, that it's not about the money for you, and I can actually attest to that, because I had Louisa on my session 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and she mentioned you, that she found you, and you were able to guide her through her journey, and today she's such a rock star as a coach, as a mentor, and I've seen her facilitate amazing sessions. So indeed, when you say that it's not about the money for you, that is one of your testimonial right there, Louisa, because she's changing the game. And that's a good one for Africa, as many of us that can embrace this will change the game. So what do you have to say? Why? Why not? I said I don't want to use the word why. What made you to choose to come back from the UK to push the game? Because we're really fixed in the way we think and the way we see things.
Well, there was time. I've been a Pan-Africanist for so long, and what's a Pan-Africanist doing in England when I have a home in Africa? So what happened was, I'd been planning to come back for so long, and then I went to Jamaica of 2018. And before I went to Jamaica, I'd had some back pain, but while I was in Jamaica, it kind of like hampered my holiday. I had the best time, but it hampered my holiday because the pain was getting worse. So when I got back to London, I had to have an operation on my back. Now, the operation meant that I had to get off work for quite a few months. So when I could walk again and was strong enough again, I went on a short holiday to Greece. And from Greece, I came to Ghana to be with my mom, just for a while, and just take it easy and enjoy myself and do no work. But when I got to Ghana, I got involved in, I've always been involved in Agile in Africa. So when I got to Ghana, I saw that the organization for Agile in Africa wasn't quite where it was. And I knew how and what needed to be done to get it to be a successful event that particular year. So I asked myself, I promised myself I wasn't going to get involved. So am I going to get involved? What am I going to do? I couldn't make up my mind. And then I decided to get involved. I got involved. My 3 months came up. I was enjoying Ghana. I was enjoying spreading the word of agility in Ghana. I didn't go back to London. And I promised my wife, I said, I'll come soon. And I kept on saying, I'll come soon. So she got very angry, very, very angry with me. So now she has resigned and is now planning to come and join me in Ghana. So that's how that happened. And I've not looked back since. We set up our organization called Blue Ocean Agility. I mean, come on, I earn a lot of money in London. There's no two ways about it. I earn a lot of money in London by any stretch of the imagination, and this is not a boast. When you're a Scrum Master, I'm not the only one. Many of us, some people earn a lot more than me. But as a Scrum Master, you're in the sometimes top 5 percentile of earners in the world, in England or in the world in terms of salary. And that's what we were earning. So you can imagine, for me to leave that and come back to Ghana, there must have been something that meant much more to me than money to be in Ghana, because I have nowhere near that kind of money at the moment. I know it will pick up, but at the moment I have nowhere near the kind of money I was earning. So it was more as a Pan-Africanist, I felt I needed to be in Ghana. I felt that I needed to be part of the growth of Wakanda here in Africa. And to me, it's about Africa. It's not about Ghana. It's about Africa. But I have to start somewhere. Charity begins at home. So home for me is for Ghana, is Ghana, and I wanted to start here. By the way, I'm half Nigerian and half Ghanaian. So whether it's Nigeria or Ghana, it's home to me. I don't mind. And I could start, be, and work everywhere, anywhere. The other thing is that we are global now. With technology, we're global now. Indeed. And we need to build our people. We need to build our environment. So, and we can do that from everywhere. I can now, as global, I can contribute to Africa from Washington. I can contribute to Africa from Tokyo. I can contribute to Africa from Istanbul or London or Munich. So it's very important to make that clear that if you're African, anywhere that you are in the world right now, you can contribute to Africa positively and impactfully using technology. But because I was here, I just wanted to stay here. I didn't want to go back. My grandchildren are crying for me. I'll see them soon. But now I'm here. And if I do go back, it will be to spend a bit of a holiday, enjoy my family, enjoy my house over there, but come back and build what we're doing here in Ghana and Africa. So that's it.
Thank you so much. That was indeed, I mean, it's not so much of there's the why you came back. It's not because you are after some type of temporal pleasure. There's a why to what has propelled you. By the way, if you're on Instagram and there's a lot of echo, I don't want you to miss in the conversation. Head over to Facebook, Lentor, on Instagram, on Twitter, Lentor me, on YouTube, Lentor. You can join us, and it's more interactive that way. If you post a question, I'll display it there. So you had your why, because there's a big problem in Africa, indeed. It's the complexity, and it has to do more with our mind. So it takes me to my next question. I want to ask you, what has been the most challenging experience for you relocating back and pushing the narrative? And like you said, yeah, Charlie, money good now. Charlie, money good. I beg. Me say I want to make porn. So I know it's a lot of sacrifice that you got to make for you to come back to Africa, to take this by the bull by the horn and say, yes, you are really after making a change. And indeed, we can make a change. So can I just ask, what has been the greatest challenge for you?
My greatest challenge has been the way of working. So in Africa, people want to know you. They want to see you. They want you to come to meetings. Email is not good enough. Online discussion is not good enough. They want to see you. And also, they wanted to know that you are here. It's not that you're coming and then you're going back, and then you're coming and you're going back. They wanted you to know that you're here with them in the environment. Now, I'm a man of technology, and I've been working remotely. I talked about going to Jamaica. I talked about going to Greece. Every day I was in Jamaica, I was working. Every day I was in Greece, I was working. I'm used to working with technology in that way. So to change that mindset and always having to go and meet people was difficult. And then all of a sudden, God forbid, COVID came into the picture. COVID meant that people were forced by law to work at home and not go to the office. That suited me perfectly down to the ground. And all of a sudden, the business that I was trying to build took off. And I could reach more people. I could train people online. I never had to leave my bedroom. As long as I looked great on top with my shirts, I could have my boxer shorts underneath and nobody would notice, and I'll still be doing my training. It was absolutely amazing. I didn't have to spend money on petrol. Servicing the car is down to a minimum. I'm not buying oil. I'm not changing the tires all the time. And I'm saving time. And it's making me feel younger because all the stress of traffic in Accra is gone. But on a serious note, that really made Blue Ocean Agility and our way of working really pick up. And that was perfect. It also gave me time to devise some courses that we've been thinking of devising. We are really well connected with Patrick Ingram and the Agile Capability, and we were able to come up with a website called professionalagile.org, where we have created recognized, certified courses for Scrum Master, PO, Agile executives, and Agile teams, and also devised 2 courses. One is the ScrumDaddy Guide.
That question, because it's at the last. I'll ask you what you're working on at the moment.
Right. So, okay. Fine. Yeah. Fine.
We're gonna come to that where you can speak.
The challenge was overcome with COVID and the new way of working that has come to be the norm, which is using conferencing tools such as this one and doing everything online. It suited me and Blue Ocean perfectly, and things have started moving on from there.
Fantastic. That actually, you've covered my second question. That would have been, what are the benefits? And I can actually say categorically for Lentor, by the way, that this has been, the COVID pandemic has been the best thing that's happened. Unfortunately, lives have been lost in the process. Right. Unfortunately, and I empathize with families of loved ones that have lost family and lost loved ones. I think it's sad that people have had to endure the pain. I know equally that a lot of people have lost jobs in the period of the pandemic. I recognize that totally, that people have lost work and all that. So it's very clear. Now, another thing that I would like to say is, for me, COVID, if you're on Instagram, please join us on Facebook and Twitter. It's more interactive there. You can drop questions. On Twitter is Lentor Me. On Facebook is Lentor. On YouTube, Lentor. So, and I appreciate you guys for bearing with us with the echo. We'll get it right. We get it right. We're trying to have a conversation where we can encourage more people into the sector. You've already talked about the benefit of this COVID. Many businesses have taken off. I would say I've recorded quite astronomical results in this period. I've connected with incredible people that it would have taken me to fly down to the UK, to the US to meet. So in a lot of ways, I think that the COVID has been a blessing to Lentor more than a curse. But I do empathize with everyone that has lost job. We just had a training that is ongoing at the moment, and some of my students are on call as well. And they've gone the exposure to what Agile mindset and adopting it is all about. I'd like you to speak to, there's a question that I wanted to ask you. How can we encourage adoption? After this question, I'll throw it open for people to ask you questions. How can we encourage, hello? Okay. How can we encourage, the beauty of working from home? I don't want to say the hazard because I was corrected the last time. How can we encourage more Africans to adapt and embrace the Agile way of working? What can we speak to the benefit of it to their businesses and to their organization and to their career, by the way, because you said you were earning a lot of money in the UK. The truth of the matter, in the midst of COVID, the average salary of a Scrum Master in the US is $132,000 US. In the UK is about 70 to 85,000 in UK pounds. That's what you earn per annum, and you don't have to be fraudulent. It's just being exposed to this.
Exactly.
What we say we can do collectively to get more Africans to adopt this way of thinking?
Yes, and those figures you mentioned there, I was earning double that. Those are the average figures. Now, bear in mind that those average figures, if you go and do your research, are amongst the top 10 to 5% of salaries, whether you're in the UK or in America. Okay. Now, I believe in the movement of free access to technology and to knowledge. Okay. So I know we have to monetize our skills and what we know, and we have to monetize the training and knowledge of Agile. But at the same time, that can be done with freebies as well. So, and I also believe that if you expose people to something, they will make it their own and create something new and positive out of it. So for me, the adoption of Agile, working from home, new ways of working, and all of that is to just expose it, evangelize it. That's why I call myself an evangelist. You evangelize, and evangelism means you're talking about it all the time. You're living it. You're breathing it. You're exposing it. You're introducing it to people. You're passionate about it. When you talk about it, people see that you're walking it, and they will learn it and then make it their own, and something powerful, new, dynamic, vibrant will come out of it. And that is what I fervently believe, and that is what I see is happening right now.
Indeed. Thank you so much. So it's time for questions from the audience, from the viewers, wherever you're watching from. What would you want to ask ScrumDaddy? What would you want to ask him with regards to? Is it the entrance? Like he said, when I said that's the average, he said he earned double that. So imagine him earning like 300 and something thousand or 400 something thousand dollars or 200,000 pounds. That's how much they earn. And that's how much we can earn. But unfortunately, I think the lack of information, which is what we are evangelizing through this medium, through the Scrum Sunday that he has, is talking about the Agile, the approaches, bringing different facilitators to facilitate the session. This is the way we can evangelize agility to Africa and get more adoption, more adaptation, more people seeing that Agile is not just about the software, it's just your way of life. So would like to take questions. Please, if you have a question, drop it, especially in the chat. On Facebook, you can drop it on YouTube, Twitter, and I'll display your question for everyone to have visibility to those questions. So that would be amazing if you can. And I'd like you to speak to the project you're working on, because indeed I know you have certification that you've actually come up with. But that doesn't still close you off from international certification. So would you like to speak to what you were trying to speak to earlier, the project that you're currently working on?
So we came up with certification with courses created by Africans, primarily for African people based within the African continent, as part of promoting our absolute passion that agility, AfricAgility, is one of the ways forward for the continent. So we came up with a course that was slightly more difficult than getting a PSM from Scrum.org or a Scrum Master certification from Scrum Alliance, or all those people. And this course, which is the Certified Professional Agile Scrum Master course, contains Lean and Kanban as well. So it's a whole rounded course to become a Scrum Master and in today's world, because even the Scrum Master role is evolving. So we wanted to give people who come on that course the whole Scrum framework, the Lean framework, and the Kanban framework, and how they all interact with each other, feed each other, and how you can use all within the one project. So that was one thing. The other thing is I also devised two courses. One was the Scrum Guide Study. And one thing I'm absolutely passionate about is that we all go and do our CSMs, our PSMs, Professional Scrum Master courses, Certified Scrum Master courses, and we come out and we don't know how to be a Scrum Master. You know, we go for interviews, we don't have the experience. Where do you get the experience? Where do you get the practical knowledge? And somehow we force ourselves in there. And then when we get in there, we still don't really know what to do. I'm a mentor to many people who are Scrum Masters now, who have to call me and email me, what do I do about this? What about this situation? Blah, blah, blah. And I thought to myself, you know what? We have to have a course that gives you some practical knowledge. So I came up with a 2-week course, 14 days straight. You have to dedicate your time for 14 days straight. And within those 14 days, you had 2 5-day sprints. And in those 5-day sprints, there were week sprints. You experienced the whole real life, real time experience of the sprint plan, the daily scrums, the review with real stakeholders, and the retrospective. And you have to build a website, whether you have ever built a website or not. You are part of the process of building the website. And the courses have been fantastically successful. And they come out with certification at the end of it. And just amazing. I'm very happy.
Congratulations. I do celebrate some of those that have graduated, because indeed, it's one of the pain points that Lentor discovered, that it's not just enough having certification. Certification does aid, it opens the door, but if you have the door open and you cannot sustain staying in the door after it's open, you get sacked. So we were able to identify that is the problem with regards to Africans having that access, and it's a major challenge. It's a lot to do. So it's not just learning the Scrum certification and passing it in 2 days. It's not just learning the certification and passing it in 5 days. It is important to have hands-on practical experience. Like Lentor, currently, we have a 3-month Agile transformation process. My students say, Mercy, we are overwhelmed. Yeah, we are overwhelmed. It's a lot to take in. And I do understand that. But if you want to get the kind of success story, you have to immerse yourself. And I do celebrate their courage, because they've been immersing themselves, learning about GDPR, learning about project management office structure, how to set it up, learning about data, where does it come in, learning about Power BI, learning about business analysis, and most of all, they get certified by Scrum.org. And the new one that I just got signed up, oh, I'm so happy. Anyway, they were praying for me yesterday. I was very tired. And day before yesterday, when I announced to them, they're going to be getting CSM and a PSM. I mean, in the same breath. I don't know where they would get that kind of deal, and for the price of nothing. But the truth of the matter is, as evangelists, the money is not what drives us, but the impact. So I'm very grateful at what we're doing. We are not enough. We need to do more. We need more evangelists. We need more people with the right mindset. Money is not what drives ScrumDaddy, is not what drives Lentor. We are focused about changing the mindset and making sure people get the value. Please,
Mercy, instead of the CSMs and Scrum.org certifications, let it be CPASM. Let's get the certifications to be Africanized.
The first thing, the thing is the deal that they've offered them. So for me, it's a win. They're literally not paying for this. People charge as much as $1,000 for this certification, but they are getting the certification for nothing. But they're getting the experience with Lentor, and this deal is just what has been offered to me. I don't know where else. I mean, I had one of my students say, guys, you don't know what Lentor has done for you. I was going to pay $1,000 for me to get trained in a few days and get my PSN certificate, CSM certification. But I know. Lentor is giving it to us, and they paid, if you put the total calculation for the 3 months course that they're taking, they only paid $180,000. Mary, AfricAgility said, Mercy, you're crazy. I know, but we have to put this forward. We have to do it. We have to be the ambassador. When the money comes in is when the value is added. I'd like to take questions. Okay, there's a question here. Please, if you have a question on Instagram, please do share, or join us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Lentor. You can join us. If you ask a question, I'll display, and the question will be scrolled. There's a question from Abraham. I'm sure this is my Charlie brother, my Charlie Naporo. Okay. Oh, it's a company though. Abraham is asking, how can a person get an organization to move agile? So, ScrumDaddy, I'll let you take this question.
Start from the top. Start with the leadership.
Yes.
So train the leadership, get them to bite and taste agile. Once they get to understand it and they get to love it, they become the champions of agile, and then they start to filter it down through the rest of the organization. You can start anywhere, but the quickest way is to start from the top and go down. If you have to start in the middle or at the bottom, make sure that you do an exemplary form of agile, so that the magic happens, people begin to see the benefits, the return on investment, and then the top begin to say, oh, this is good, this is fantastic, we're investing in these guys and they're really producing. Not only are they producing, but we know where they are at every moment, we know how much they're spending, we know what they're doing. Every so often they invite us, and then the magic seeps up. But best to always start from the top down.
Indeed, I agree with you. Start from the top. Even when you're starting from the middle, make sure the middle is someone that has influence, of influencing his team on this mindset, the adoption, because honestly, the result is unprecedented. So I'll take the next question from Facebook. If we have a question on Instagram, please, I'm happy to take that as well. Okay. Okay. Albert says, let me just display that. Albert says, yes, they are taking baby step, one step at a time. We have to change one African, one step at a time. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Chioma Claire, and that's one of Lentor's students, which I'm so proud of. They're very passionate and very devoted and committed to this cause. And I know that they will come out great. So, ScrumDaddy, if you want to offer my students your certification, let's talk offline.
I'll be happy to.
Okay. Nice one, ScrumDaddy. Thank you, Lentor, for that privilege. The knowledge gathered so far has been life transforming. Whoa, thank you. And mind blowing. I am a testimony. I didn't see that. Thank you so much. That is so powerful. Indeed. Thank you. I really appreciate feedback. They say is a breakfast of champions. So indeed, thank you. AfricAgility, I'm sure you know her, Mary Lanier. You know her, right? She calls herself Scrum Mommy.
Yes.
I don't know what I call myself when everybody's taking ScrumDaddy, Scrum Mommy. So what would I call myself? She said we seek to add value first, then money will follow. Indeed, I agree with you. Okay, so this is very important. Franca, one of my students as well, which I'm so grateful. Their tenacity, their great is something that I admire and I celebrate. And she says, PSM and CSM certification, the knowledge is awesome. Thanks, Lentor. It is indeed my pleasure that we are offering you this, because we want you to have competitive edge, not just for the African market, but for the international market. Okay, so, and Abraham says, is it a good idea to charge nothing to train the leaders of an organization? I would say yes, but ScrumDaddy, what do you have to say to that?
The thing about being an evangelist is whether or not you want this thing to be done. So I've done some evangelism work for major companies in Ghana. I have something called an Introduction to Agile workshop, and that's just a 45 minutes to an hour and a half workshop where I go to board of directors and I introduce Agile to them. That's all that's required. You just need them to take a bite. If people take a bite of Moimoi, they love it. If they take a bite of Tatale or Kelewele, they love it, and they want more. So you just want them to have a little bit of a bite of something that's good, and usually they want some more, and then you monetize what they want after that.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you brought food. This interview will not be complete if we don't talk about, you say you're half Nigeria, I want to know how. If we don't talk about this unnecessary debate that is all over the globe, which
about the jollof.
Which jollof is the best?
Both of them sweet now. Both of them. Sometimes I crave Niger jollof. Sometimes I crave Ghana jollof. Both of them sweet. And then don't forget Senegal jollof there inside too.
Oh, really? I'm not heard about
jollof. But that's where jollof comes from. It comes from Senegal.
Seriously?
Seriously. It comes from Senegal and Gambia. That's where jollof comes from.
Wow. So how come we now took ownership of it that is African, is Nigerian and Ghanaian jollof, and they will ask Mike Zuckerberg, which do you prefer?
Because Niger and Ghana people get the biggest mouth for Africa now. That's why.
I agree with you. My people in Kenya, my people in Gambia, please speak up. Speak up. Okay, somebody say let's not go there. Nigeria is a few miles away from global.
Let's not go there. I love both.
Let's not go there. Oh God! But this interview will not be complete if we don't talk about the Nigerian and the Ghanaian jollof and the madness with it. Echo says jollof is from Senegal, but we took over. I didn't know that, by the way. I did not know that. So it's fascinating to know. So how are you half Nigerian? Please, I'm curious. Because
my mother is from Bayelsa.
No way!
Yeah, I come from a place called Nembe.
I know Nembe. Wow.
Yes, she's from the royal family there. So
like it's throwing stone, it will just meet your whole family in the head. No
exactly.
So Ghanaian, we are not enemies, we are brothers.
Exactly.
We are sisters.
Exactly.
No need for competition. Okay, so now let me go to the next question. Okay, so Grace Johnson, another of my students, and thank you guys for being on the call. Really appreciate it. It says it's been refreshing listening to you. My question is, you talked about started from the top. Are you considering taking the Agile Evangelism to the Ghanaian government?
Yes, we've already started that process. Many of my schoolmates are now in power in Ghana. The finance minister was my mate in school. The vice president, I know him personally. I know the people working behind the scenes, some of the people working behind. And of course, I'm an Agile Evangelist. So I'm talking Agile to everybody. As soon as they see me, oh, ScrumDaddy, we don't want to hear about your Agile. I'm talking about Agile to everybody. So, and there's some inroads that are beginning to happen behind the scenes in terms of some one or two places beginning to adopt it gradually. So we'll see how that pans out.
Thank you so much for that. That means everything. So I would say that I heard of the great success story about the Ghanaian police adopting the Agile way of working. So that's a good success story right there. So I can imagine the Nigerian police and our government, people in authority. The problem is a lot of us technocrats, we're not considered to be the first. They tend to go with the people with the loudest noise that have nothing, no substance to add, and they add more to the problem by fueling the gas. Unfortunately, if our country, speaking to the Nigerian government, no matter the sphere of government, if you adopt the Agile way of working, it will revolutionize and give you such results that you cannot be able to equate to the old way of doing things. Because the old way of doing things has not helped anybody in Africa.
You can't go back. Once you go Agile, you can't go back.
And I keep asking this question when I speak to a lot of decision makers. I said, come, listen, can you mention to me one successive generational wealth that we have in Africa? One. Okay, we have one or two, but that is not the equation in the West. That's not the equation. In Asia, there's successive Toyota has been around for donkey years. But how many African successive generations? Because we don't have the structure. Because we are not applying. Like Toyota came up with a Kanban structure of operational. And now it's been adopted across the globe. So we have a lot of work to do. Let me just display the next question. In case this live broadcast finishes on Instagram, please join us on Facebook and on Twitter and on YouTube because there are more questions coming in. Rakia says, thank you for a great session. Grace says, how about the AU? Wouldn't that drive a drastic? Of course, it's still the same question, right?
Definitely. Absolutely. I mean, was it Grace who asked that question? Who asked that question?
Grace, yes.
As Grace knows, if we were able to get this into the AU, which is the next stage, it will drive it. And again, it's back to the same question that somebody asked. I think it was Abraham. Where do you start in Agile adoption in an organization? You start at the top. So Agile adoption across Africa, it would be best if it started with the AU. It doesn't mean it can't. It's already started in Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Kenya. There's already, the Agile movement is out there. There's nobody going to be able to stop it. But if it was able to go directly to the AU and get into the AU systems and processes, that would be a great way to get it adopted across Africa. And yes, that would drive a drastic change.
It would drive a major change because we have a fundamental problem, which is mindset, okay?
Yeah. A
drastic change. So there's a question from Alberto, and thank you, Albert. We're just on the same webinar shortly ago. He says, Albert says, Scrum Uncle. Oh, okay. I thought it was a question, okay? So let me just go. Oh, no. That wasn't Albert, yeah. Okay, sorry. Albert says, how has your alignment with government been? He wants to know.
Yeah, so that's going to take time. That is absolutely going to take time because, you know, government in Africa, not just in Africa, everywhere, there are people within the systems who benefit on how the system is right now. When you begin to talk Agile, you're talking about transparency. As soon as transparency kicks in, it means things change. It means there's some inspection and things change. And those people who are benefiting right now won't get their benefits anymore. And so there will always be resistance to that kind of change. Also, it means more work. Agile actually means more work. It means more effective work. And people are used to being in government institutions where they hardly have to do anything, but they're always on the payroll, regardless of which government is in power and which government is not in power. So, and also when you're stuck in a mindset, in a way of doing things, again, you don't want to change. So it's going to take time. Fortunately for people like me who have lived outside, I've seen the changes that has happened in London. I've seen the changes in Spain. I've seen the changes in the USA, because the USA and all those places were where we are now. And if they could change, it means Africa could change with agility as well. I'll give you another example in terms of technology. In Kenya, we have the M-Pesa. The M-Pesa was the forerunner to all the mobile money transactions we have now. Ghana took that on, and Ghana is a little bit at the forefront with all the mobile money transactions, and Nigeria is coming on as well, and the banks are transforming and all that. The Europeans haven't got there yet. In Europe and in America, the mobile money way of doing things that we're doing in Africa hasn't got there yet in the same way that we have got ahead. And that's what I believe with Agile as well. Once we take on Agile, the way that what we will create and what we will do with it will leapfrog what's happening in the West at the moment, and we will actually get ahead of them. So that's not that it's a competition, but that's exactly what I believe.
We need to change Africa. It's not about competition. And the only way to change Africa is to change our mindset. And once you change your mindset, to win, it's now a way of life than to be dependent on some people and you feel the need that I have to keep asking for hand-me-down. But if you're a change agent in Africa and we can change the narrative and change the game on the West, Africa would not just leapfrog, we will change the game.
Of course.
So we will change the game. So it's time for a lot of people to be woke to this reality. 419 is not the only means of making money. He said that he was earning double of what I said. That's in their, $500,000 as a black man in the West. But the goal for us is not about that. I've seen it work. Lentor started, I keep saying it, I make bold to say this. I have adopted the agile way of working to my business, and I've leapfrogged. The people that have started business before me, they're struggling. But I have taken off because I understand what it means to be transparent. I understand what it means to adapt. I understand what it means to test. I understand what it means to experiment. So this is very critical that we need to. Okay, Mary said employee agility says more accountability. Indeed, more accountability will change the game. More accountability demands transparency. It demands us to be transparent. It demands us. And
adaptation.
Yes, and we will get there collectively. And the problem with Africans, we're not very good collaborators. We're not great at collaborating with one another. With Ghanaian would think I'm competing with, this is my Ghanaian brother. And more so, even a Nigerian, I didn't know. So,
but I have another narrative. I actually believe we're really good at collaborating, but we're made to think we're not.
I like that.
Yes, we are really good at collaborating. Look how easy it was for me and you to collaborate. Yes. You know, I collaborate with African people all over the world all the time, and it's great. But we're made to believe that we can't do it. And sometimes, even when we're collaborating well, we can't believe it ourselves, and we start finding things to divide us.
Yeah.
But we are and can be really good at collaboration.
I actually, moving from today, no more, we're not good at collaborating. That's my byline. Africans are great collaborators, and indeed we are great collaborators, but we have trust issues. That's the real crux of the problem. So I'm collaborating. He just mentioned about his certification. I didn't say no to it because it's African. I said, let's have a conversation. Yes. I'm pushing my students to get all the certification that they need. I need to promote, what's the name of certification again? The abbreviation.
CPASM.
CPASM. Okay, so we're done on Instagram, so I'm facing here. So we are good at collaborating. We are indeed good at collaborating. So the live broadcast here is finished. So I want to go live again. Anyway, let's just continue because we're about to wrap up. It's an hour. It was time boxed for an hour. So we are great collaborators. Indeed, we are great collaborators. But we second guess. When the collaboration is going so well, what is he doing at the end? What is he doing now? Is he making money? You came into the play without making money. You have made small. You now feel Kwaku is making more than you. Why should he make more than you? I can go behind him and go and talk to the Ghanaian government. Then you and Kwaku will now lose. They will now bring someone from the West to give the job to. Why? Because you can't speak the language.
And it has happened to me before. And it has happened to me before, just last year. Yeah.
That's the real problem. So it's not because we can't collaborate with each other. It's the fact that we have trust issues. Absolutely. We just don't want to trust one another. Because I've never met Kwaku before. I only met him on LinkedIn 2 months ago. It's like I've known Charlie since like 2 years ago, you know?
I know, right?
And I can't wait for me to promote your certification. I mean, Scrum Alliance gave me an offer. Why wouldn't I take it and offer it to my student? I could have easily told my student, guys, you're going to pay XYZ for this certification. And Lisa goes, no, mercy. Get them to use that money to invest in their own future. And they're not paying nothing for the training. I don't know where else you'll get it. I really don't. Anyway, we have a lot to do. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to engage. There are more conversation here. Rashid says, we can change the game and beat the West through Agile and through transparency, adaptation, and intentionality. Indeed. And that's another brilliant person that is another mover and shaker and is going to disrupt this sector. He's one of my students going on. So you guys, you might likely have certification from Blue Ocean. It's an African certification. What is stopping you? I mean, let's have the conversation as ScrumDaddy. Agile is a mindset, have it, and it will work in your life. Indeed, Dennis. Dennis, where are you from? I love your name. Nganga. Is it Ghanaian?
Kenyan.
Oh, Kenyan. They say it's your people that brought jollof rice, Dennis. And we took one of it. Sorry.
No, the jollof rice is Senegalese.
Dennis is Senegalese. Voila. Okay. So Agile Pathfinder says transparency, inspection, and adaptation will help fight corruption that is the fast destroying Africa. Anyway, I agree with you. Corruption is not an African problem. I need us to be clear on this. It's not an African problem. It's not. It's a global phenomenon. You see, one of my students says, CPASM, the way to go. Yeah. So you came to my Lentor training, you're getting 3 certifications. Let's have the conversation first anyway. So thank you, Mercy. Your session is the session in the past week has been great. Hosting and collaborating with this brilliant mind is amazing. Thank you, ScrumDaddy. Rosemary, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. And nice to know, Dennis, you're Kenyan. Thank you so much. Anyway, on this note, we need to call it a day. It was a time box meeting. I've gone over by 7 minutes, and I think that's not such a crime. But as an Agilist, we have to respect time. We have to respect when we say we're doing this, you don't go because you're getting excited. No, you have to maintain. Once you put a time box to something, make sure you work within that capacity and don't go overboard. I hope you guys learned a lot. I like feedback. I'm very, very particular with feedback. What are your feedback with regards to this session? I'll do that in the next 3 minutes. I'd like to display as well your feedback. What did I do well? What did ScrumDaddy do well? What didn't we answer well? Your feedback, it's key to us because that's part of the Agile mindset. And I am very big on feedback. It changes the game. So what would you say we have done well in your own words? What didn't we do so well in your own words? And that would be amazing. Oh, ScrumDaddy, let me display your website. Fantastic. I'll need to display it quickly. Thank you. So we'll be speaking to that. Please share your feedback. It's important to us so that I can display. Very, very important to me. I want to know what you're saying. I want to know what we have done well. So that's ScrumDaddy. How can they follow you? You will see him. Let me display him alone. If you go to LinkedIn, you will see Kwaku and follow him on LinkedIn. He's always accepting all connections. So he's open to connecting with anybody. So would like to know what is your feedback? What did we do so well? ScrumDaddy, you can actually type it so I can display your handle as well. You can type it instead of private chat.
Okay.
It's okay. I just share because you're sending it privately. It's fine. So I'd like to know what did we do so well? What do I need to improve on? I know there was a lot of feedback and echo on Instagram. So that's ScrumDaddy's website is right there. And the other one for the certification. So anybody with a feedback for us, very important, or no feedback? Okay, I have one. The class is absolutely out of this world. Thanks, ScrumDaddy. And he is Naima Migisi. Did I do that well? Nice session. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you, Dennis. We need more agility in Africa, and it's a pleasure being part of it. Continue to work. Can I make a demand on everyone? Please like our YouTube channel. Turn on the notification for you to follow all this conversation. Next week, I'm bringing another powerhouse for the conversation on agility. Please follow and turn the notification if you're on Instagram. If you're on YouTube, please help Follow Learntor on YouTube. Share with your friends. This goes on every week, and you might be one of them. I have another brilliant session next week, 2 brilliant sessions. I'm having 2 of my students interfacing with me, and I'm bringing Anu Golper. She's soon to be a director of Scrum Alliance. I hope she wins. I'm rooting for her heavily. Grace, let me display, his wealth of knowledge and experience is priceless. Mercy, you are always outstanding and a great host. Namaste. Abia say it. Merci beaucoup in French. Yes. So it was amazing hearing from ScrumDaddy. Hope to have you again. You see, ScrumDaddy, they're asking of you. So let me display from Abraham. Abraham said, you did justice to all the questions I asked. I'm planning my wedding agilely. He's planning his wedding in an agile way. Agilely and Scrumly. Thanks, Learntor and ScrumDaddy. Great coach, ScrumDaddy. Indeed, he is. Thank you so much, ScrumDaddy, for joining the session. But do not go off. We have to have a debrief when I end the broadcast. So thank you, everyone. Oh, Employee Agility, I have to display. Fun conversation indeed. Yeah. We need to make it fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for being part of this conversation. The only way we can change Africa, please follow ScrumDaddy on LinkedIn. He is on LinkedIn, and it would add a lot of value to what you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you enough. Thank you, everybody. Without you, none of this would be great. So we appreciate you being part of this. Thank you. I end the broadcast.